Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Michelle and this is Emily, and today Emily has her first ever dentist appointment. So I thought I would make a quick little video. You want to go see Dada? Okay. So I really wanted to make this video because ever since I booked the appointment, I've been asking all my friends about what their experiences have been and how they prepared for today. I'm really hoping that this video can be helpful to any other first-time parents out there who maybe feel the same way as me and just don't know what to expect. Honestly, I'm actually a little bit nervous because Emily doesn't tend to like any kind of medical appointment. She's always very anxious and she often cries. So I am a little nervous, but fingers crossed that we have a good experience today. And anyway, I hope this video can answer any of your questions and hopefully put your mind a little bit more at ease. Alright, so we've just arrived in the car park and we're in a bit of a rush because I am running a little bit late. So we're going to go in. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get a lot of footage whilst I'm in there, but I'll try to get a little bit. But anyway guys, just wish us luck. Fingers crossed that everything goes well. Alright guys, so we're back in the car. You can see Emily in her reflection there. We have just finished our appointment and it actually went a lot better than expected. She didn't cry at all. She was a little apprehensive to open her mouth, but we did manage to get a look inside. I got to ask all of my questions and they all got answered, and I feel very satisfied with our experience. So once we get home, I will record in more detail about what happened. I unfortunately didn't get any footage whilst we were in there. I did try to sneak in some photos, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they're not blurry and I can show those to you guys as well. But all in all, very happy, and we'll catch up soon. So in the end, I wasn't able to finish recording yesterday, so I found some time today where I'm going to go through in detail what happened in the appointment, and I'll also go through all the questions that I asked the dentist and all the answers that they gave. So Emily is 18 months old and she has a total of 13 teeth. She has 9 in the front and 4 in the back and another 4 coming through. Our family also lives in New Zealand, so depending on where you live, your experience might be a little bit different to ours, but so far I've really liked the experience we had here. So basically, I didn't initiate this appointment at all. The dentist contacted us directly saying that Emily was due for her first checkup, and through that we were able to book the appointment, and a few weeks later we were in. I appreciate that so much because this was not something that was on my mind. I would not have thought to take Emily to the dentist this early on. So the fact that it was initiated by them, I think is really great. So when we first arrived for our appointment, we had to quickly fill out some paperwork, and then we were shown through to the exam room where the dentist was waiting for us. I did quickly get a quick photo, so I'll show you that one now. Basically, the room just looked like any other dentist would, just with the smaller chair. I was a little bit disappointed. I kind of expected that since this dentist sees a lot of children, that maybe the room would be a bit more child-friendly, maybe a bit more inviting to kind of make them feel a little bit more comfortable. There was a space in the corner where there were a few stickers on the wall, but not really anything that I felt would really calm Emily down or distract her or really make her feel any more comfortable. On the other hand, we had a really lovely dentist. She gave us the option of either sitting in the chair, or if Emily was more comfortable, we could sit in a chair in the corner. I chose to sit on the dentist chair because I did want to give Emily that experience. But basically, Emily was just able to sit on my lap the entire appointment, which obviously definitely helped make her feel more comfortable. The dentist then just spent some time playing with Emily. She let her play with the little mirror and just explore and play with the things on the chair. And I also appreciated that she really did keep her distance. She didn't try to impose on Emily's space, which I think definitely helped Emily, because she's always gets very anxious when people that she doesn't know kind of approaches her and wants to touch her or anything like that. So that definitely helped us out. On the same note, I also appreciated that the dentist never tried to push Emily to do anything she didn't want to do, even just opening her mouth. Basically, if Emily didn't open her mouth, that was fine. And the dentist even said, look, if I have to stand a few feet back and get even just a look from a distance, then that's what we'll do today. Now, when it did come to getting Emily to open her mouth, I basically just held her on my lap and I tried to use my fingers to help open her mouth. We tried to encourage her to do it herself, but she doesn't even open her mouth to let me brush her teeth at home willingly. So I knew that I was going to have to try and help her out. So I just laid her in my lap and I used my thumbs to kind of pull up her lips or pull down her bottom lip. And we did manage to get a good look. It actually turns out that along the bottom, Emily has an extra tooth. We thought maybe it could be a canine that's come through, but it doesn't. It looks too blunt. But the doctor said that that's fine. She has seen it before, and so we'll keep an eye on it for our next checkup, but not to be too concerned. So after looking at Emily's teeth, I had time to then ask my questions to the dentist. The appointment actually only took maybe 15 minutes, and the majority of that was just me talking. So I'll run through now the questions that I asked the dentist and the answers that I got. So question 1 was, what kind of toothpaste should we be using, and should I be concerned about fluoride poisoning? Now, the dentist was very clear. She basically said if it was her daughter, she would be using a fluoride toothpaste. We shouldn't be concerned about fluoride poisoning unless Emily eats like an entire tube of toothpaste. The reason is because using fluoride toothpaste will basically do the best job at taking care of their teeth and preventing problems in the future. My next question was, I asked if she had any tips on brushing teeth. Now, this is something that I've Googled a lot in the past, since we have now been practicing brushing our teeth for probably about a year, but I wanted to see if maybe she had some tips that she had heard of. And basically she just said, try to make it as fun as possible. We want our children to grow up with a healthy habit for brushing their teeth. We want it to be something that they're not afraid of or apprehensive to do. So trying to make it as fun as possible will really help us to accomplish that. My third question was, should I be concerned that Emily's teeth are not straight? I've noticed on the bottom that a few of her teeth are a bit wobbly. Now, the dentist said it's very normal for children's teeth to not be straight. This is because they still have so much room in their mouth, and so their teeth are going to be moving a lot and therefore will be wobbly, but isn't something to be concerned now. So my next question was, should I be flossing Emily's teeth? And the basic answer was yes, flossing is best. If we are able to floss our children's teeth, we should. Being able to get in between the teeth where our toothbrush can't reach will help to prevent them developing cavities. And it's actually between the teeth where cavities are most likely to develop. But my dentist did make the point that unless Emily is willingly going to allow me to brush her teeth without any kind of apprehension and get in there with some floss, to not force it upon her. So for me, at the moment, we're not going to be flossing, but who knows, in the future, that might be something we can add to our routine. So next I asked if there were any foods that we should be including in our diet and any foods that we should be avoiding. And of course, as expected, she told us to avoid any sugary drinks. So fruit juice or fizzy drinks we should not be giving to our children. Basically, she said milk and water. The dentist also recommended that we should limit the amount of fruit that Emily snacks on throughout the day. And the reason for this is because we want to manage the pH levels in their mouth. Now, if you don't know what this is, maybe you should just Google it. But for those who do know, we have acidic on one end of the scale and we have alkaline on the other. And the aim is that we want our mouth to be neutral. And so if we are giving them too many sugary acidic foods like fruit, we then need to give them some more alkaline foods to help balance that off, and so they have so the pH level in their mouth is more neutral. So the one food that she did say that you can include is cheese. Cheese is a really good balance to those sugary acidic foods. It will help neutralize their mouth and keep the pH levels natural. Now, if you want any more suggestions, you're gonna have to Google it because that's the only one that she gave me at that point. But I found this really helpful because I do give Emily a lot of fruit throughout the day. So being able to follow that up with some cheese and maybe even limiting the amount of fruit I give her, I'm hoping will help maintain her teeth for much longer on. So the last question I asked was based on something that I hear quite often, and that's that we don't have to worry too much about our children's baby teeth because, you know, eventually they'll lose them and then they'll get their adult teeth. So I asked, does how we take care of our children's baby teeth have an effect on their adult teeth? And the dentist said yes. And I could tell by her tone that we really need to take it seriously. So I unfortunately didn't ask why, which I kind of regret now. I wish I had asked. So I did do some Googling to try and find the answer. So the answer that I found was that our baby teeth are what we call placeholders for our adult teeth. And so if we were to prematurely lose a baby tooth, whether it's knocked out or has to be pulled out because of cavities or anything like that, it can have a direct effect on our adult teeth. And the problems that you're going to face are things like shifting of your adult teeth. You could have crowding, and it also can delay when your adult teeth actually come through. The second answer I found was all about building a proper habit for our children. Leaving it to when they are 12 to 16 years of age, when they have all their adult teeth, to then have to build up a proper habit of brushing your teeth and caring for them at that age, you're gonna come across a few more problems. Starting at a young age and building up that habit now is going to set you up for the best possible chance of preventing any problems and having a beautiful smile for the rest of your life. So as I was Googling that answer, I actually came across some other information which I found really helpful. The first one was that our baby teeth, compared to our permanent teeth, have a much thinner layer of enamel. Now, what that is enamel is what protects our teeth from decay. And so our baby teeth actually have a much higher chance of getting cavities because of that thinner layer. The other thing I found out is that our baby teeth are actually a lot softer than our adult teeth. So this means that they are more susceptible to wear from grinding and acidic foods. It's also why we should use a softer toothbrush when brushing our children's teeth. And lastly, I just wanted to end by giving you 5 tips on how to prepare for your first appointment. Tip number 1, talk about it with your child. What I'm saying here is leading up to the appointment, even a week before, start talking about it. This way, when they turn up to the appointment, it's not such a surprise to them. It's something they've been expecting because you've been talking about it all week. My tip number 2 is to take a familiar toy with you. Now, this really helps because when you're in the appointment, they don't actually have that much to do after the dentist has checked what's in their mouth. So this can really help to distract them, and it can also help them to just feel a bit more comfortable because they've got that one thing that they are more familiar with. Tip number 3, it is okay if they cry. Now, I was totally going into this appointment expecting Emily to bawl her eyes out, but a friend actually pointed out to me that when a baby is crying or a toddler is crying, their mouth is automatically open, and actually the dentist can get a pretty good look at their teeth if they're crying. So of course, we obviously don't want our little ones to cry, but I can guarantee you the dentist has seen it before and you may actually get a pretty good result. Tip number 4. I didn't actually have to try this one, but a friend did tell me this is what she did with both of her little ones, and that is to hold them upside down. Now, I don't mean grab them by their ankles and dangle them upside down like that, but tip them back a little bit and naturally they will tend to open up their mouth. And my last tip is to write down any questions beforehand. So I actually spent time the night before preparing for the appointment. I wrote down all the questions that I had, I wrote down all the concerns that I had, and I also did some Googling to find out if there were any questions that I should be asking. And this really made sure that when I was there, I didn't forget anything, and I was guaranteed to have all my questions answered. So at the end of appointment, it was really helpful as well because they booked us in for our next appointment in a year's time. So again, I don't have to think about that at all. They gave Emily a cute little sticker, which she was very happy to play with. And I really feel like we left the appointment feeling very positive and really happy. And Emily even said thank you and gave the dentist a really nice wave. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I am really happy with how our appointment went. Sure, it didn't go completely smooth, but compared to what I was expecting, this was like a walk in the park. So I really hope that sharing our experience has really helped to ease your minds and answer your questions. If you do have any other questions, please put them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. And if there are any dentists out there or anyone who can answer some of the questions that I asked a bit better, I would also appreciate if you could comment below because I'm so open to receiving this information and being properly informed. But without further ado, thanks for watching this video and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye guys!